Hey everybody, Smart Silver Stacker here. Global energy prices have resumed their move higher as oil is now trading back over $110 per barrel. This is following the sell-off that we had last week. Oil prices recovered very quickly, and I suspect that they will continue to move much higher. And one of the reasons I think that is because there aren't really any incentives for producers to take any kind of steps to increase the availability of oil. We just saw that Russian oil revenues are up 50% despite sanctions. So it seems that Russia is actually benefiting from the sanctions in some ways, as they are not having a hard time finding buyers for their crude oil. Countries like China and India have been happy to purchase Russian crude oil at a discount. And I'm sure the Russians don't really mind because even though they are selling at a discount, it is a discount to a much higher price. So as we can see, this has not hurt their bottom line at all. And we also saw Saudi Aramco, they just had a huge boost to earnings. They have now eclipsed Apple as the largest company in the world. So no real incentive for the Saudis to try to boost output either and reduce tightness in the global energy market. One of the consequences of these high oil prices and these record revenues for oil producers is that the ruble has strengthened and is now the best performing currency of 2022. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, there was that huge decline in the value of the ruble, but it has regained all of those losses now and then some. And this is in part due to European Union buyers of Russian natural gas paying in rubles. We are seeing more buyers opening accounts with Gazprom Bank to allow those payments in rubles. And this is despite some confusion, it seems like, on the part of EU leadership. We just saw EU spokesman Eric Mamer say that opening an account with Gazprom Bank that would allow the buyer's payments to be converted into rubles would actually constitute a violation of the sanctions against Russia. And when he made this statement, the price of natural gas began to rise. But then the giant Italian oil and gas company, Eni, they came out and they made a statement saying they were going to go ahead with opening accounts with Gazprom Bank to facilitate payments. And when they made this announcement, we saw the price of gas come back down. And I suspect that we're going to continue to see EU buyers do whatever they need to do to get their hands on Russian gas. You know, back in February when Russia launched their invasion, we saw a huge spike up in the price of natural gas, and that has come back down since then. If Putin were to cut off the gas to the EU, and we know that he could potentially do that, he's already cut off gas to Poland and Bulgaria because of their refusal to pay in rubles. If gas to the entire EU gets cut off, we would see a much bigger spike in the price of gas, and that would almost certainly trigger an economic crisis. A lot of these countries are very dependent on Russian gas, and they don't have a ready substitute. So really, Putin kind of has them where he wants them, and I suspect he is going to continue to get paid in rubles. And when they have to go out and buy rubles to buy natural gas, that strengthens the Russian currency. It creates demand. Now, one potential scenario we could see is if NATO gets drawn into a wider conflict with Russia, almost certainly gas will get cut off to the EU. I mean, that would be kind of bizarre to me if, Western European nations were engaged in open warfare against Russia and they continued to sell them gas. I don't think that's in the cards. There's a very real possibility of an escalation of this conflict with Russia. And if that does occur, I would expect to see a massive increase in gas prices overnight. However, part of the strengthening of the ruble does seem to be as a result of capital controls on the part of the Russian central bank and the Russian government. I don't think in Russia you can just go out to the bank and buy foreign currencies for your rubles at anything that resembles the official exchange rate. But considering their record oil revenues sort of a windfall as a result of these sanctions, I do think it's safe to say that Russia is suffering a lot less than was originally expected as a result of the economic warfare and the sanctions that are being leveled against them. But the real winners in this scenario are countries like India and China, who can now get Russian raw materials like crude oil and others, I'm sure, as well, at a discount, which is going to give them a competitive edge in the global economy. And I think that another consequence of these rising oil prices and the record Russian oil revenues is that Putin is going to feel emboldened to continue with the de-dollarization, the attacks on the dollar, like forcing the EU to pay in rubles, switching the currency for international energy payments away from euros and dollars and to rubles. And we've also heard them talk about using other nations' local currencies, gold. So all of this in the long run is designed to reduce demand and reduce utility of the dollar around the world. And it's not just Russia, it's happening in Saudi Arabia too. I mentioned those record profits for Saudi Aramco. Well, Saudi Arabia is going to look out for its self-interest clearly. They don't care if there's economic turmoil in the West as a result of rising energy prices. They benefit from them. So that's where their policy is going to align. You can recall MBS over there, their leader, he wouldn't take the call from our president when our president was reaching out for help regarding the global energy situation. And, Saudi Arabia may also still decide to begin accepting yuan or other currencies in exchange for their oil, and that would be a serious blow against the petrodollar system, which has been in place more or less since the 70s. And it's also other countries around the Middle East now are looking to diversify away from the dollar. It's not just Saudi Arabia. Egypt recently announced that it was going to begin selling bonds denominated in yuan to diversify its finance tools. We just saw Israel sell off some of its dollar reserves and add yuan and some other foreign currencies to its reserves. So in the Middle East and around the world, we are beginning to see a move away from the dollar. And it's not like the dollar is going to go away overnight. It might not even go away entirely at all, but it is going to lose its dominance as the world reserve currency. It's going to lose its market share, so to speak, in terms of international settlements, in terms of foreign currency reserves. So all of that is part of the long-term agenda by countries like Russia and China and Iran and a number of others to move away from a unipolar world where the dollar is the premier currency. And it looks like so far they are succeeding. One of the results of this is that prices for energy and a large number of other commodities too, gold, silver, any real assets will probably be moving much higher in terms of dollar pricing in the long term moving forward. So let me know what you think about these rising energy prices and Russia's seeming ability to avoid economic turmoil from the sanctions. Are the sanctions ultimately going to work, or are they going to backfire, as seems to be the case so far? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, check out the other videos that are popping up on your screen right now. I'll catch you next time. Thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Smart Silver Stacker, out.